Well, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? Trying to find the right button here. I rearranged my buttons again, and now I can't find which button I'm pushing. So, how's everyone doing? All right, happy Sunday. Welcome to our first Sunday live stream. This is just going to be, we're trying this out, seeing if this works out better time for other people, especially people in Europe. And maybe my mind won't be so shot after working a, 10 to 12 hour day. I might need to push it back a little bit earlier, so then people, because people have to go to church, I guess, on Sunday. So it's 9 Central here, so maybe I can do 8 Central, and that might make it a little easier for some people who have to head off to church. But I'm glad that everybody around the world, this is hopefully a better time for you. We got, looks like Premise is over on our Twitter feed. We have 11 people joining in on Twitter. Hello. Everybody else is on YouTube. And I did put a vote up, a poll up for which machine we're going to work on. I was going to do that same setup. I guess we could do just chatting as an option too, if y'all just want to chat with me, but that's fine. Is the sound out of sync? Oh, man. Okay, let's see. Let me think about that. I've been messing with my cameras, so it's not out of sync for you, Ronald? Sounds good. A little bit out of sync. I mean, I can adjust the timing a little bit, but I've been playing around. Like I said, I got a new camera here. I've kind of had to change all my camera setups to try to get everything to work better. And I still haven't played around with the syncing because you have to put a little bit of a delay on for what the microphone hears versus what the camera feed gets into the computer. So I can play around with it. The sound is a little bit ahead, huh? Here, I can adjust it we could do a little bit of adjustment, but if I don't want to spend a bunch of time on this. Let's see, we could do, I have it at 300 milliseconds. That seems kind of high. Let's go to like 250. All right, so I've adjusted it now, 50 milliseconds behind. So let's see if that's a little bit better. Personally, it's not a problem. Let's see, we got Romania here. I see Brazil. Who else do we have? Philippines. So this is a better time for all you guys, huh? Good morning. Greetings from Argentina. Egypt. Switzerland. Love Switzerland. I love Switzerland, man. Every time I travel there. We got Missouri, we got Norway, New Jersey, India, Romania, Princetown, let's see, Florida, Maryland, UK, Vietnam. Now it's out of sync. So now the audio is worse. Should I go the other way with it? Let's see, Colorado, UK, India, Philippines, US, a lot of people. So that's good. Yeah, when I normally stream, it's going to be 6 p.m. Central Time, and that's, the middle of the night for a lot of people. So I'm trying to do one early in the morning. So then for me, it's, what time is it? 9 in the morning. So should I mess with the audio more? Is this driving you crazy? "100 milliseconds or so. Twitch is good, slightly off." Yes, it's crazy. Yeah, just let me know. Audio's fine. Put up a poll here, I guess. I mean, right now we're voting for our machine. So, yeah, so I basically had a 300 millisecond already offset. That's what I've always had it at. But since I've switched cameras on my face camera here, so it might be a little bit different. So I didn't adjust that yet. So I could play around with trying to adjust it. So we just went down to 250 milliseconds. That made it where the audio would be a little slower than it was. We can do one more offset here. So if we went down to 150, which is what my other camera was set at, I think. All right, see if that is any different. So right now, I just halved what I had. And so I don't know if that's better. Or is it worse? If it's worse, then we need to go the other way. Worse, okay. All right, so we're gonna go back up again. Well, I guess, you know, we'll have fun doing this in real time. So we'll go 225, like there was a suggestion there for 225 offset. I could try 500. People were saying my audio was ahead of time, so if it's ahead, then I need to go back. But so that's 225. Hello, hello. So did my hand hit first, or did the audio hit first? Audio is ahead. Okay. Audio is ahead still. Oh, so I need more of a delay. I guess I was going the other direction. All right, so we'll go up 350. Close, but no cigar. I want a cigar, though. Okay, here we go. We're at 350 now. Oh my gosh. This is normally what I do whenever you're not watching. This is kind of annoying. I'm just going to cut all this out of here if we keep this. Much better. 350 is much better. Did I get it? Are we good? More delay? More better? Everyone's all over the place. Come on, I don't know. Okay. I don't want to spend too much time on this. That's kind of the thing. But it is closer. 400? You want me to go 400? Okay, we'll go 400. We're getting closer. Okay, there we got 400 now. Here we go. And we already have people asking questions for it. It's Inspiron 9300. Do you know how old that laptop is? That's like a 2006 laptop. It freezes. Okay, I don't know what to tell you about that. Okay, we're good now. All right. Sounds early now. So we can go 375 if you want. I don't know. I'll deal with this later. If you think it's close enough, we can kind of sit with this, and then I'll work on it. I usually dial it in on Premiere, so I'll record something, I'll put it on Premiere, and I'll go frame by frame and get it perfect. But I hope we're good now. We have a lot of people leaving Twitch because this was the most annoying thing ever. That's fine. Okay, so we have the poll going on YouTube. I didn't set one up on Twitch because we didn't have enough people there. Premise. So I don't know if you want to make one there, but you know what we have 2 people in the chat, you and Gritty. So I don't know if it's worth putting a poll up there for these laptops, but the gist of it now is we have, what are they? I don't even remember. Alienware M15R2. So the customer's note on that one was, here I got to pull it back up because I can't remember. I think it was something about his son wanted to charge his laptop with his cell phone charger. He said, my son wanted to try to charge the laptop using the USB-C port on the back, using a USB-C cable from his cell phone charger, because he didn't want to carry the big AC brick around. It seemed to be just fine, and then at one point it, let's see, turned off for about 30 seconds, and then he had to do a hard power down, and now it doesn't come on again. So just to let you know, a gaming laptop like an M15R2 uses tons of power, does not, I mean, you could, there is some of, I think it might run off a 130 watt charger, but it's really slow and you can't really run the laptop. You can maybe charge the battery with it, but cell phone chargers are like 15 watts, so you're not running it off of that. So probably blow out something weird. The next one was a 9710. It was dead after a RAM upgrade, so they changed out something, and then they probably touched and shorted out something on the board. Okay, we got a super chat here. Oh, this is the 9300. So you have a 9300. All right. Let's see. Pinnacle of Dell engineering. So much that the chassis was the basics of the XPS and the precision units for several years. That's correct. So those machines, the 9300, so this is an older laptop, Inspira 9300, they use the exact same frame for the XPS, which was the XPS, oh my God, my brain, M170 maybe? M1710. And the M1710 were the precisions, or the M50 or something like that. I've deleted so much of that from my memory, but M1710, there you go. And so they use kind of the same plastics. The motherboard's actually the same. You can flash it in between. You have to use some Dell commands, but then you can actually change the name of what it is. Yeah, they're beefy and big, and I think they're just Core 2 Duos, maybe. I can't remember if they're Pentium 4s. I think that's the first one that's the Core 2 Duo. All right, sorry, the next laptop was the M15R5, works on battery only. So this person says that they plug in the charger, it doesn't work, it doesn't charge, but then it will run off the battery just fine. So usually it's not like a charge port or something like that. That's not normally what it is. It's probably something to do with the charge circuitry, so it could be like power management chip or something like that. I would say out of the 3 laptops, which one will be the hardest will be the M1710. And then the second hardest may be, let's see, maybe the Alienware M15R2, because that depends if you like blew out like the PD controllers and all that stuff. So, let's see, Motorola chargers of 65 watts. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe, but 65 watts is still, I don't know. I mean, you're talking about fast charging. I don't know if it goes 20 volts because these machines need 20 volts. So if it's 65 watts at 20 volts, then maybe. But usually cell phone chargers do 15 volts or 9 volts as their PD fast charging. This is a properly calibrated live. I do like that. That's a good quote for the day. Love these videos, Nathan. Well, thank you. Thank you, Dennis. Denise. Hell yeah, XPS for the winnings. Yes, I'm for the Pete watching in the UK. Yes, I'm trying to this Sunday live. We'll see how it works. If this does work out, then I'll do it weekly. It's just, you know, I'm already working 50, 60 hours a week, so. Let's see, 1 second delayed between cameras. Yeah, maybe. That's interesting. Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay between my cameras. Like I said, this is a new camera. I have to put a sync on this, and I can play around with it later. We'll deal with it later. I usually dial it all in, and like this is my old camera where, God, I rearranged my buttons, which is the worst. This is my old camera, but I have it in wide angle mode. What I'm experimenting with this shot here is that, I mean, you can obviously see more, but whenever I'm in when I'm in microscope mode on my videos, now I have a shot from right here. So like if I'm holding a motherboard, then I have this shot. So you can actually see this angle off to the side, which I think is kind of cool. So I'm always trying to add new things. I hope you guys appreciate that and not just make it stagnant. Is it possible only to charge and not to run an Alienware with 130 watt? Oh, it's moving along here. Oh, gifted subs, thank you. Gifted memberships. Wow, that was a big burst. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That was super generous of you. Let's see, I was trying to get this question in here. So, where'd it go? There it is. Is it possible to only charge, and this one's jumping too much for me. Every time I try to read it, it jumps down, and not to run an Alienware off of a 130 watt USB-C charger. So Alienware general term, that's just not telling me. So if you're running a X14, those actually run off a USB-C. So you're talking about like an X15 or an X17 or an M series. So those are going to run off a 240 watt or 330 watt. That's in general. That's what they use, and you can run a lower wattage. And a lot of times it needs the battery installed in order to do that. So the machine off, it will charge the battery with it off. When it's on, it's actually using the battery and the charger at the same time to work, if that makes sense. Let's see. What's the solution for the glare in my microscope camera? So the way that my solution that I'm using is I tilt the camera. So if you're looking here, you can kind of see me do it right here. So I have it tilted. So if I go straight up and down, I'm trying to get it in the camera view for you. There we go. This is straight up and down. You can kind of see the circle right there for the light ring. And so if you just do it at an angle, now it's less glary. The only problem is that you don't have everything in the shot that's in focus in general, so you have to kind of play around with it. I did buy one of these JFix. He did a video on these. I did buy one of these, and we can actually, let me put it on here real quick to show you the difference. So I'll have to pull off my whole camera or light thing I have on here. So I'll pull this off and just kind of throw it off to the side. Turn it off. So this one just kind of bolts on the bottom also. Oh, and it's a polarizer. So it has lights, and then you spin this thing, and it adjusts the polarizing effect. So I'm going to put it on the bottom. And then the only problem I have with it so far is it's really dark to look through. So when I look through here, it's hard to see. And then this light is not very bright. It's like a USB-C, so it doesn't have much power going to it. So let me make sure it's cranked all the way to the brightness. Okay, so that's as bright as it goes. Let's see if we can, let me use this wide angle shot here. Which one is it? This one. So it maybe looks bright enough here, but it's not bright for me. But when we go into the microscope, if I go straight down on it, you can see there's reflections. But now if I spin this, the reflections go away. So now I'm completely up and down straight on it. And so everything's perfectly clear for you guys. But it's really dark for me because it's like sunglasses. So if I spin this, that's how the reflections would be. Now I spin it back until I get to the right polarization. There we go. So now it's blocking it. So looks good for you, hard for me. I think this is good for an optical microscope that everyone's, you're looking at the TV, the screen. I'm looking through here, and so it's just too dark for me. So I generally don't like it. I think I'm going to use it for some things, but not for other things. So go back to my other one. Where's DIY Dave? He is at church. He let me know ahead of time that he would not be here. So I understand that people have church, and so that's why I may do this a little bit earlier if we do this again. Darren, I think you're about to leave the church too, right? JFix is here though. Okay, okay, let's move on. I think our vote should be done by now, right? Are we all ready to get this party started? Watching church. I know, you could just bring your phone with you, right? It's perfect. Okay, so I'm ending the poll, and we got X15R2 is the winner. And it's the one that died from trying to charge it off a cell phone charger, so we'll see. That'll be a fun one. Watching from Jamaica. Welcome, welcome. Clearly, the X15R2 won. Yep, clearly. Absolutely clearly. Let me grab it. No captions in church. There's a plugin I can get that will transcode my voice and then put it as a caption. So that may be something to do next. Every week, add something new, right? It's 5 p.m. in Kenya. Well, I'm glad that you're able to join because normally it's like the middle of the night in Kenya. All right. All right, new day, new laptop to repair. This time we have an X15R2. This one no longer powers on after trying to charge it with a cell phone charger. So first thing I want to do is to see if it turns on, which it doesn't, and it shouldn't. Press the power button, nothing happens. Should we plug in our USB-C charger? No, I'm not going to do that. So keep an eye on the power meter here. We want to see how much current it draws when we plug it in. And that's not good. That's no bueno. So it went up to 0.01, then went down to 0.00. Most likely there's a short on the board somewhere. That's what that means. It should actually jump up to maybe 0.1 sometimes, and then it will rest at 0.02. That means that the LDO's on, and that would be running the EC chip. But in general, if it goes up and then just sits back down at 0, then it's trying to turn on a lower power rail, like a 3 volt or, well, maybe a 1.1 or something like that. It's going to try to turn on one of those, and it finds a short there. It could even be the PD controller. So this seems a little loose, but it's not. I'm going to press the power button, see if it pulls any current. It's not pulling any current at all. Ooh, is it? No, I thought maybe it jumped up for a second. So we'll need to open it up and take a look inside. We got, what are we up to? 400 people now, 12 on Twitch. Twitch, there's not a lot of early birds on Twitch, I guess. Usually have a lot more people on Twitch. Premise, did you update my title for me? I appreciate that. Or was that JFix? All right, and the bottom is off. Okay, quick look around. Got the main battery here. It's OEM, has the serial number there. We've got 2 NVMEs or 1? Looks like 1. Yeah, there's 1 installed. No, there's 2 installed. So they have 2 NVMEs installed. There's the Wi-Fi card. This machine is the one that I really, really like the design. Has 4 fans. So the CPU and GPU are right here, and then the heat pipes go all the way around, and it has 4 fans blowing. So I rarely, or if ever, have seen a CPU or GPU go out on these. They also have lots of power stages, so great design. Main flaw with these, there's 2 different things that happen. We have the keyboard issue, where the keyboard doesn't work in Windows, and then there's a component we just change out there to fix that. And then the other issue is the liquid metal that comes on the CPU, and that is leaking and causes issues, so that's the other issue. But I guess there's a flaw if someone plugs in their cell phone charger into this, apparently. You're guessing a shorted cap? I don't know, that might be a little too easy. Too easy. So I would say if we did a poll, we would probably say shorted cap, shorted PD controller, or bad power management chip. So those would be the 3 things that I would. Is that link expired? JFix just sent me that link. Interesting. I need a good link that doesn't expire. Do they make those? Every time I put a freaking link in this thing, it's always expired. Let me see if he'll send me over another link, and I can fix that. Okay. We got our screws out. I'm just going to pull the back off. Just send highlighted message. Links works fine for me. Discord has problem with links these days. Yeah, because I generated a share link, and then JFix told me it was the wrong one. So then they're all temporary. So does it mean I have to update it every single time? So is this the new one? I thought that was the one I put in there. Looks similar, at least. Here, let me update my streamer bot. You know what I think I did is I only updated on one of the, maybe that's what it is. One of the things, whatever I'm trying to say. I can't remember. YouTube and Twitch, because I have multiple streamer bots. Okay, so I updated it. Oh, is that the new one? Or is this a different one? Premise, you're giving me a different one? Does that JFix one work? So whatever JFix just put in there, that's what I just updated it to. Okay, I'm going to unplug the battery. Actually, let me measure what voltage we have on the battery. That can also tell us if we have a short here. Was my power meter going to work today? I mean, not my power meter, my voltmeter. I've been having lots of problems with this. It's interesting. Let me show you this little sidebar here. So this is my voltmeter I use. Gosh, the cable's not very long. Here, I'll do it on the overhead instead. This is my voltmeter I use. And, I mean, it's perfectly fine. It's adequate. It has this USB connector here. This thing doesn't have an actual connection to the device itself. It actually uses optical. And so if this isn't slid in there properly, it can't, the infrared LEDs don't communicate properly. So if I get it slid in just right, now look, you can see it actually working. But if I slide it in too far or move it around, it doesn't work right. So I don't know. I just figured out that that's been my cause of the issue anyway. You are very smart, and you want to be like me. Well, and this is all just learning as I go. So it's all just try to absorb as much information as possible. And so any of these videos, like any videos I put out or Soren puts out, or even NanoFix has great stuff, JFix has tons of stuff. There's one other guy that you might be able to get some information from, but I don't know. And then it's just absorb it. Watch the whole video, make notes, tag it, or create a list of things that you can go back. I usually watch the video twice or something like that if I feel like I'm getting some sort of information out of it. What was I doing? Oh, I'm measuring the battery. So the reason why I'm going to measure the battery now is, so if we have a short on the main motherboard, it usually will shut the battery off. It will tell the battery, hey, shut off, man. So, here I'm going to try to fix this real quick too. And so when we're measuring on the battery, I got to get an angle so I don't short out my connector. All right, so we got 11.2 coming in. So you can see these 4 pins. Oh, did someone notice I didn't change the microscope? One of my mods can do that for me. There you go. All right, battery's in there. So these are the 4 pins coming from the battery, positive, and those are the 4 grounds, and then the middle together communication. So I am getting 11.2 volts in the battery. So battery is coming to the board. So I actually am thinking that we have something else going on, and you guys have seen me do this all the time. I don't know, but I'm seeing this more and more with this laptop in general because of power surges, I'm guessing. I did 2 this week or 3 this week. I'm going to take their SSDs out while I'm working on this, but I'm thinking that we could even have an EC chip issue. So I just fixed the PD controller. I started watching is that the one from this morning with the Inspiron 14 something? Because it was the backlight was coming on and shutting off or something. I didn't finish the video, it was on the way. It was this morning. Oh, he brought up the other channel. Yeah. So yeah, there's another channel out there that teaches all sorts of stuff, especially finding shorts. That's his main thing. He's good at finding shorts. ChatGPT, if you use a few AI in parallel, you will see how bad ChatGPT, I mean, all those AIs to me are just like more work than they're, I might as well just get it done myself. If you're sitting here writing this long prompt, all right, I'm going to work so hard to write this prompt out so that it can tell me something, and then I have to take all this information, then I have to go back and re-edit it. I'm like, I might as well did it in my first place. Did it myself. I don't need to unplug all this. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to focus and read the chat and do this at the same time. Sam Techsperts is awesome. Now we're talking about Northridge Fix is the channel that we're talking about. So, yeah, oh my gosh. I wish every time I pulled my microscope up, it went to microscope. But Northridge Fix is, in general, not most people's favorite at this point. But I bought some of his flux. It smells good. It smells like a lotion. Yeah, Andy at Salem Techsperts, great guy. Super friendly. Wants to help people. So here's where the charger comes in. I just want to measure how far it goes before it shuts off. Plug in the charger. We have 20 volts coming in through here. It's going to go through these inductors. It's going to go through these first MOSFET. It's going to come out of the second MOSFET. Well, come out of the first MOSFET, and it didn't even do that. So it's going in, but it's not coming out. We're going to unplug the charger, plug it back in. I just want to see if it does come on momentarily. It's coming on momentarily. You know what that means. So that's a good sign. It means there's not a short on the main power rail. But we're going to measure the 3 volt and 5 volt power rails, which are on the other side of the board. And the only way to access them is to pull the board, or we are going to just see if we can measure. I thought I can measure right here. I thought I could measure right here. I think it might be these guys. Let me see. So basically, the gist of what I'm actually looking at here, most likely there was a power surge on this machine whenever he tried to charge it with the USB-C. And these machines have a tendency of having the EC chip firmware go corrupted. And the way that I determine whether it's a corrupted firmware or not is to figure out if all the power rails are coming on, or really the main power rail and the 3 volt and the 5 volt. If they come on momentarily right when I plug in the charger, then shut off, then it's most likely a corrupted EC chip. And that's why it's shutting off. That's why the EC chip's not running. That's why it's pulling 0. That's also why the battery won't charge and it won't power on. So that's what speaks to the power management chip. So let me measure here and plug in the charger and see if we get 3 volts. We have 3.4 and it shuts off. Now I'm going to plug in, measure this line, and we got 3.4 again. So is that both 3.4s? I thought one would be the 5 volt. Maybe because I'm crazy. What's this one? That one's nada. I'm trying to kind of prevent myself from having to pull this whole board out, but I really think that this is probably an EC chip issue at this point, but we should probably do the physical inspection because that's the right thing to do. So we will pull the board out and then take a look around. So you guys can chat with me while I'm pulling this board out, because it's not too many screws, but it still takes a little bit of time. Did you guys, okay, so who was in that stream last Wednesday? The one I did last Wednesday. And then I did a follow-up video the next day. That one made me crazy in my head. I knew I was doing the right thing, but I was like, I don't know why this isn't working. It didn't make sense to me. And then, lo and behold, right after the stream ended, I saw a post on Discord saying that he figured it out. I'm like, wow. I mean, you learn something, right? Every single time. It doesn't matter how many times you've been doing this or how many years you've been doing this. The fact of the matter is, always make sure the chip numbers are the same, and always make sure the pinout looks the same, or at least what it looks like on the board. I had my blinders on. Everyone makes mistakes. So it was a waste of time. We would have really got that laptop fixed in like 20 minutes. Yeah, 3 hours wasted. But I learned, right? So you can kind of look at it different ways. Because there's been plenty of times I've had to spend lots and lots of hours on something to figure it out. Like, example, this fix that I'm doing right now, I must have spent so many, I don't know, 10, 20 hours trying to figure out what the hell's going on with these boards. And then, boom. Like, once I figured it out, now I can fix these things fast. So, I think the short that I did the other day was this exact same thing. Same issue. I made it a little more dramatic, but... How many people think I still have a fake AI voice in my shorts? Someone worked on it before. This one I don't think anyone's worked on, which is thankful, because I feel like every other laptop is someone's butchered it ahead of time. I can tell that these screws have not been taken out, so I think we're good. It's going to make it a lot easier to fix it, usually. Darren, what? You're asking about my AI voice? I don't have an AI voice, but people think I have an AI voice in my shorts. I feel like every other comment's that. Oh, it was full moon. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, he found the chip. That's right, JFix. Thanks for giving him credit. I couldn't remember his handle, because I think he actually changed it to like F ... or something like that. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is. Okay, and the motherboard is out. So here's the 3-volt and 5-volt power rails. Again, we're going to plug it in and make sure those are both coming up temporarily. Let me plug a DC jack in here. Oh, this is a 17-inch. Could I make donations appear on the screen? I don't really know how to do... Oh, up there on the screen. Yeah, I would have to switch feed. So this feed that I have on my screen right now is a multi-stream feed. I need to figure out a way to put donations on there, and I will. I promise. So thank you for the donation. I totally missed it. Truckin'. Yes, you're right. I should have those on there. I have a list of things I'm trying to kind of modify and get these things all fixed up. I actually need to get with Premise and try to get my Twitch finished out, because I don't go on Twitch enough to know like all the tricks, and so I was making emotes this morning, and you know. How to get AI in my shorts. Ooh, AI shorts. All right, now I got the jack out. We can measure. I just want to have the jack plugged in. I'm going to plug in the charger again. I just want to measure the 3-volt and 5-volt power rails. We'll just confirm, and then we'll do our once around here. So unplug it, plug it back in. 5 volts up, then back down. Unplug it, plug it back in. 3 volts up, 3.3 is up, and then back down. What did I fix as a kid? Ooh, that's an interesting question. So I grew up really poor, so I fixed everything. I fixed everything. I was the guy. I don't know. I started taking stuff apart when I was young, maybe 6 or 7 years old at least. When I was 8 years old, I used to carry around this little tackle box that had all my electronics in it and testing things and all this. And I basically just tinker around with everything. So, and then all this, when I'm saying I'm poor, we didn't really, anything we got was either from a yard sale, thrift store, things like that. It was always broken, so I was always repurposing or taking it apart. So a lot of toys I refactored and stuff like that. Whenever I became a teenager, I started like actually building bikes. That was like the way I made money. I would find bikes on the side of the road or people to throw away, and I would tear them apart, rebuild them, paint them, and then I would sell them. Or I did a bike repair shop when I was like 12 years old, 13 years old, and then I did that for a few years. That's how I made money. But yeah, you have to kind of figure out a way to survive whenever you don't have any money. I'm going to take this heatsink off, even though I don't want to, because there's liquid metal underneath here, but we got to look around, do our physical inspection. And I saw a question about Okay, Streamlabs has a good plugin. Okay, well, I may need a switch. So right now I'm using Castro Labs as my multi-chat tool, and it doesn't have that many options, so I think I will try doing another one. Gosh, every time I try to look at this one, it moves too fast. And I'm like, I need to look at this other one. Okay, JFix, you said his comment got missed. Yeah. Yeah, the chat starts moving a little fast for me sometimes. You're still voting on the power management chip? Yeah, possibly, but the thing is about the power management chip is that we wouldn't be getting our 20-volt power rail when we plugged it in if the power management chip is bad. It's usually going to be the EC chip that has to communicate with the power management chip that turns it on. All right, I'm going to take this off very gently. Do Dell engineers contact me for feedback? They do not. I have not talked to one Dell engineer, ever. It's funny, for the amount of years that I've worked on these things and dealt with Dell, only Dell Legal is the only person who's ever contacted me. Dell Legal, that's it. They always say, well, you need to make sure that they know that you're not Dell, so I have to put, like, not affiliated with Dell on there. And just to make sure that... This thing's been leaking almost. Woo, guys! Hold on. Let's take a closer look. So this is why I hate liquid metal, by the way. Well, maybe it didn't leak out. I thought that this was overflowing out the side, but you can see, here's the liquid metal. I'm not going to use those tweezers. Let me grab different ones. I don't want to get this stuff all over my tweezers. So there's our liquid metal, and then it's mixed with heatsink compound of some sort. It started overflowing here a little bit, actually. Not too bad, but it's interesting. So I don't know if you guys can see it in the video or not. So this is a barrier, okay, this little foam thing. Oh yeah, it's all overflowed out the side here, too. But this barrier is kind of popped up on this part. Maybe I need to tilt it more to get rid of some reflections. Let's see. I don't know if that makes it better or not. Making me have to crouch a little bit, though. Okay. What I'm saying here, so it's actually flattened down here, because I guess the heatsink's pushing down there, but then it stops and actually bumps back up on this point. And so that's where I guess it's leaking, or it leaked across here. I mean, it's leaking. So we should put it right back together, right, and just leave it. No, I'm not going to do that. And then we can look at the heatsink itself. You can see the heatsink has a big blob there. So it's not the cause of the issue, but it is the I hate this stuff cause. Oh, gosh, I keep pressing the wrong buttons here. Liquid metal is only good for the Dominator. All right, so I just want to do our once around here. I think we're going to be replacing this anyway, so maybe I should just clean this off now because I don't want to make a mess. I guess so. All right. Okay, well, we'll start doing it. I don't wanna. I hate this stuff. All right, so I'm just gonna try to... Does it smell like lotion? No. Maybe we should squirt that other stuff on there. So I'm just gonna collect it like this. Oh, maybe we could try... So we've had a few different suggestions. So let's try some few different suggestions while we're in here. Okay. All right. So I had a suggestion for a solder sucker. So we're going to suck it up with this solder sucker. Do you think that's a good idea? The problem with that is that it doesn't suck it anywhere. So it sucks it in here, and then you have to kind of squirt it out somewhere else. So we're going to have to be careful, but let's do it. Here we go. So we got this big blob here. Sucked up something. Let's look where it went. So I see it all in there. Let me squirt it in the trash can and see what it does. Last thing I need is it to spread around more. So I've just squirted it back out, and it's still all right there. And this is why I would not want to do this. That's the only problem with that. I mean, we could try it again and just do a few sucks. And it kind of jumps when you do it. And see how it didn't really like suck up a lot? Like it's not as satisfying as you would think it would be. So I don't know if that's the way to go. Okay, so that's one way. A syringe, which is what Grizzly uses, Thermal Grizzly. See, the problem is that all this stuff is mixed with the thermal compound too. So like when I roll it like this, you can kind of see it collect up. You see that? And it's not magnetic. So here's a stack of magnets here. And so if I try to put it near a magnet, nothing's happening. See, it's not trying to suck to it or anything. All right, what else? All this, there's so many suggestions that people give me. I'm like, yeah, it's also not going to work. All these things, I mean, a little vacuum would be the only thing that I can think of if we can get a little vacuum going. But the safest thing is to try to be as like slow as possible. Yeah, we'll put some PTM 7950 on it. So I'm just going to kind of wipe this. I think what I've ended up doing now is I just take this barrier off because it ends up getting all over the barrier and it's hard to get it off. But so I'm just using one Q-tip at a time. I'm not using the backside, just the front, and then I'm just going to wipe it and it kind of collects it into a pile and then try to get that one ball off of there. See how it collects together? There we go. So it's already looking better. It's only whenever it gets all over the motherboard is whenever we're like really mad. And it takes forever and ever and ever. But this still is not like the fastest process. All right. So that's pretty good. And then now I'll have to take this barrier off in order to really clean around the chip. Did we figure out if that Discord link was good that I put on there? Why are there two chips? One is the CPU and one is the chipset. So in this machine, this is the R2, right? Yeah, this is the X15R2. The X15R1 board looks about the same, but it has a chipset, separate chipset. They started integrating the chipset on the CPU die to keep it cool, which is brilliant. So I'm going to take this off slowly. I don't want it to splatter anywhere. There we go. Got it off. Where do I want to put it? Put it over here. Hey, thanks for the donation. Wise just donated. So what happens if you didn't remove the liquid metal and just put the in this ultrasonic cleaner? You know, here's the issue with that, right? So we have the ultrasonic cleaner is really good at like it's you know it's putting in frequencies and it's kind of trying to knock things off and then it all kind of sinks to the bottom. So I will have liquid metal balls at the bottom even whenever I clean it really well. But the issue that I've seen is that let's just say that we had this ball that's sitting right here. You can see there's a ball right there. Okay, if we had a ball in there and then this ball gets and kind of shakes down and maybe it comes down and then goes underneath the chip or something. That's the thing is like if it gets underneath the CPU or GPU or under a BGA, maybe it goes this way and goes underneath these. It doesn't necessarily, it's not like guaranteed that's going to come out. That's why I don't trust trying to let it just knock everything out. So in general, I will always clean it the best I can and then we'll let that kind of get the rest of it. And then usually what I'll even do beforehand, almost out of alcohol over here. Usually what I do beforehand is I give it kind of an alcohol bath and then blow it with compressed air to try to blow anything off the board. Okay. All right, so now I have alcohol on here, and I'm just going to try to clean the rest with that. And there's one ball there that's following me around. Let's see if I can get it picked up. There we go. Don't run out of alcohol. Yeah. Don't run out of alcohol. Well, I can tell you right now, I'm not going to go home and have a bourbon after this, like I do on my normal Wednesday ones. Because it is Sunday. Got to do stuff around the house, mow the lawn, whatever. And I'm trying to do just a 2-hour max on these Sundays if we're going to do this. So we got about an hour and something left. And I'm wasting a bunch of time cleaning heat sinks off. We haven't even fixed this yet. Here, let me get all this cleaned off. So I'm just going to pick up the main chunk of this. Yeah, now I feel like we're wasting time. I realized we better hurry up. Yeah, Soren was doing a few Sunday fixes for a little while, live streams. I wish he would do that some more. I really enjoyed that. What's this RTX 460 or 350? What are we talking about? I have a 460 Ti, 4060 Ti in here. Easy pizza, that's what Soren says. We say easy burrito over here because I'm in Texas. That's good enough for it there. And we'll deal with this later, this mess. All right, I just want to fix this board. So let's just do our physical inspection. There's our PD controller, so I hope that that's not messed up because I hate those. I think these need to be programmed too. I might have a donor board for it that's good, but we can just test around here, make sure we don't have a short on it. But let's AI do the liquid metal cleaning. That'd be nice. All right, so I'm in continuity mode with a touch probes that beep. So we're just going to try to see if we have a short in this area. So capacitors are generally going to be attached between ground and positive, so whatever the power rail is, so 5 volts, 20 volts, whatever. So we should always have one side that beeps and one side that doesn't, okay? Sometimes you'll have something where it beeps, but this thing will beep with anything, I think, under 50 ohms, and so, you know, that could be okay if it's supposed to have 50 ohms. So anyway, those are fine, that's fine. And then in general, whatever's pointing at the chip is going to be the positive voltage. So see how this is pointing at it? So that would be ground on the outside. So that one's fine. This one's in parallel. So we know this is ground and that's not. So all of this is measuring fine because we have one side that's measuring correctly. So this is going to be an inductor output, or input, rather. And it's fine. There's the Thunderbolt chip. Thunderbolt controller, and we don't have a short there, don't have a short there, no short, no short, no short. So I don't see an issue with that. And I just want to look down at his USB-C ports just in case, just for good measure. Those look fine. All right, we'll just finish our once over. I'm pretty sure it's just an ECU issue. But I don't want to run with blinders either, so we're going to just keep looking around. Right, so there's our CPU. There's our RAM, because the RAM is built on this motherboard. If you have to replace this motherboard, you have to buy a CPU, a GPU, and RAM. So it could be costly. There's the power stages for the GPU, le GPU. That's the VRAM power supplies. Here's the main power rail. I think it's for the fan. Or that's the battery charging, and that's the main power rail. 3 volt and 5 volt. This is going to be, see, that looks like a BIOS chip for something over here. I don't know what, it's probably for this. There's the main BIOS for the motherboard. I can't remember what these are. They might go to the chipset, power supply for the chipset. That's the fan, I think. And there's the audio chip. I don't see anything yet. Look how crooked these are. Man, that guy was drunk when he was soldering that on. Look at that. It's like, we're going to make that one that way, and that they put a little feng shui on these chip installs. The meter on the screen is frozen. Thank you. Just move my little plug here again. There we go. Is it fixed now? There we go. Yeah, thank you. I need to put some sound alerts on here so you guys can notify me or have something pop on the screen, because I really have a hard time just like looking up. Finally caught a live stream. Skinny made it. Welcome aboard. That's why I'm doing it on a Sunday morning. It's exciting. So right now we're working on this X15R2, trying to figure out why it's not turning on. There's the LCD connector. There's all the LCD power circuitry there. These are more tantalum capacitors that are for the CPU. So everything looks fine. I mean, I have a doubt that there's anything. There's a fuse here, but that's going to be for the camera. You know, I can probably count on one hand how many times I've replaced a fuse to fix a laptop, by the way. I forget to tell you guys that. A lot of people think it's a fuse issue all the time, but... Okay, I don't see anything. So it's going to be a EC chip. Okay? Okay. So let's do that real quick. It won't take long because I've done it a million times now. Sorry, let me get everything positioned here. You like these Sunday mornings. Let me grab our EC chip programmer. So firmware issues. Firmware issues have been getting more and more common. Firmware on the BIOS or firmware on the EC chip. In general, the let's see, like the M15, M15R1, R2, R3, R4, those all have EC chip issues. The X15R1, R2, the X17R1, R2, the M, and then just all those. Yeah, all of those have the same EC chip, and I think they're really susceptible to like power surges or something like that, and it just like corrupts them. The M16 and M18, those are going to be a Novaton chip, and those don't have issues. They program out of the BIOS. The M15R5, R6, and R7, those all have a chip that programs out of the BIOS also. So I will explain this in a second. A lot of people have already seen this, but we will act like nobody has ever seen this, and it's the most amazing thing ever. So this is my PC Bytes setup. These are weighted, and they have needle points, and you can hook wires to them. So this allows me not to have to solder to the board. Really like this. I have links to these inside the video description if you're wondering where they are, or they're like $100 for a set. Get a little tray with it that's magnetic. Get a little holder. This is my EC programmer, SAS programmer, and I have a link to this in the video description also. This plugs in USB. Where's my USB wire though? You never program. I know. Oh, it happened. It's just the thing is that I never know what these repairs are. So like if I would plan it out, I would try to be like, okay, well, let's make sure that this one doesn't have this issue because we do this all the time or whatever, you know. But I'm saying like almost 50% of my repairs at this point are firmware issues. It's weird. Maybe 40%. And then like another 30% are like people broke it themselves trying to fix their computer is what the issue is, right? So we're going to hook ground up first. I need my cheat sheet. So I have all these different cheat sheets that we're doing, and we're going to do this one. And just so we're all on the same page, we have a debug header with all these pins across here. It's going to be the first 4 pins that we're dealing with. On some of the models, I don't think it's this one. The 3rd pin here, actually, they have a resistor here we can attach to if we wanted to. And then I have my colors here, blue, yellow, green, and purple. And that just tells me what wire I hook to what probe. This one, I don't know. This is not a Microsoft issue. These EC chip issues, I was blaming on BIOS updates, but I'm thinking it's more like a power surge of some sort, because it's kind of all, you know, kind of happening at the same time when there's a power surge of some sort. So, can you set up polls so viewers can vote if the CPU is fried or not? Yes, I will. We can do that. One of my mods can do that right now. We have a yes or no vote that they can create. So if you guys want to figure out if we think it's the EC chip, I'm thinking it's the EC chip, but it doesn't mean I'm right. So let me show you what the debug header looks like here. And Premise, do you know, I haven't sent you all the commands. I can't remember what the commands are. Now I have to look it up, but I think it's like vote, exclamation point vote, and then a space, and then you just put the question. Or poll. No, it's poll, maybe. Maybe it's vote. What is it? JFix knows. I sent it to him. Poll. There you go. So he just created a poll, and so now y'all can vote yes or no on that. And while I'm wiring this up. But you can see this debug header. Wait, that's not it. That's not it. It's this one. You can see this debug header here. And you see how we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it looks like that 3rd one's actually mapped over here. So we're going to connect it over there. That way all of our probes don't get so close together. So we're going blue, yellow, then green, and purple. So sounds like a fuse. I'm glad you were able to make the live stream. You just changed from liquid metal to PTM yesterday. Nice. Well, hopefully you didn't get any drips anywhere, because it's hard to see it without a microscope. I can tell you that. Like little tiny drips causes all this problems. Give you all more views here. Green's going to be way over on the edge. Yeah, I had a guy, he was saying that he was like fighting with Dell about, like, I don't want a laptop with liquid metal. What can I do? And the Dell was just like, it just comes with it, comes with it. But I had one the other day, I think I just did the video, I haven't posted it yet, but I filmed it, that had liquid metal only on the GPU, which I was like, what? And then it made me kind of like surprised, like what? Because the GPU usually doesn't have liquid metal, it's only the CPU. So, oh yeah, and then they had the wrong DAMs on them too, like the CPU is labeled GPU DAM. All right, so I'm just kind of getting these on here. Hopefully they're gonna hold up. See, that one moved off of there. Everything's so close together. Get in your home. Okay, that one's good. Let me move this one back. Nope. All right, let me get this one adjusted better. So the gist is we have 4 pins we're trying to get on here without having to solder anything. There we go. Stay. All right, that's good. It's so tight, it's so small. Okay, Very difficult. All right, that might be good. We will see. Some of them are kind of questionable, like that one, the fourth one's kind of in the middle, but I think it is making good enough contact. Of course, I forgot to plug my charger in, the DC jack. So let's see if I can get that plugged in without ruining this. Nope. All right, I have to fix that one. Because you have to plug in the motherboard after this. Okay. So that's maybe good enough. Let's see, what view do we want to show on this? We'll do the split shot, maybe? I can't remember. Split shot, let me open our EC programming software. EC, boom, okay. We're up. Okay, I think that's pretty clear. You guys can see everything. So I will choose the E&E chips, and I might need to plug my programmer in. Plug my programmer in. And let's check connection, make sure I'm connected to the programmer. Okay, good, good. So now I need to select the motherboard. Actually, I need to reselect this. So E&E, okay, now I'm gonna select the motherboard, and instead of selecting the motherboard number, which that is possible in this, I just select the chip that I'm programming, which is a 9542GF, because there's gonna be other boards that use that same chip, and so I just use that. And then we're gonna choose soldering, because that's how we're connecting it to the motherboard, and I'll send that programming over. So, will I get this in the first try? I don't know. That's the question. So I'm going to plug in the charger now. And then I'm going to test connection. No! It did not work on the first try. Okay, so let me unplug this. So we need to just kind of poke these again, make sure they're all good. Good. That fourth one looks really suspicious, right? It just wants to slide off the top of it. Okay. All right, we'll try it again. Nope. And then sometimes I have problems with my wires. So let me make sure all my wires are good. I hate this. That looks good. Yeah, the firmware stuff is fascinating, but once you figure it out, it's just kind of like routine at this point. Let me see, do I have an issue with one of my wires? That's the problem. Sometimes I can't tell. I thought I was going to get on the first try because I've done this plenty of times. All right, take this off. Let me hook this one here. And then we'll hook that one there. Sometimes I scratch the connection too to kind of get that oxidation off of there to make it a little better. They're so close together and they're like hitting each other, so I have a hard time getting it to make a good connection. And they want to fall over sometimes. Stay up. I don't know why this one doesn't want to stay up. Well, give me a second here. Yeah, I'm just gonna scratch all these real quick. That'll make it easier for me. It's just not working with it being raw like that, or not raw. I need it to be raw. Look like they were touching, possibly. I mean, I need something better than that. Or I can hit it with solder. Sorta. So yeah, there's like this oxidation on top. There we go, that's much better. Yeah, I'm usually pretty quick at getting it, but let's see. Can I move this out of the way? Is this not in a good spot? Oop, not that one. This one. Is that better? It's a better view. Okay. This is so fascinating, everyone. I think you guys love seeing me struggle. All right, so I got this one. This one should be really easy to go. Good. Next one's yellow. Good. Next one's purple. It's going to go on number 4 because we're skipping number 3. And my hands are big and it's hitting everything. Yeah, I'm almost thinking about like making some sort of like connector I can just solder on that has all the pins hooked on there. That might be kind of easier than this. And then I think, I'm like, no, but I have these probes on purpose. Okay. Does this look okay? The last one's the green one, le green. Okay, I'm happy with that. Does everyone concur? You should have concurred. Where'd my thing go? Hey, there we go, connected. That's mucho better-o. All right, so clean the connection first. Better idea. So we'll just back this up because we are responsible human beings and we will always back up the customer's data first. 25954 Alienware X15R do. Original. Of course, I just like hit a wire and messed it up when I did that just now. Come on. Ah, what did I do? Which one did I grab? I think I grabbed this yellow one. Right? Okay, try again. Okay, we're good. Okay, so it's red. Now what do we do next? We flashed a new one on there, so we're going to write a new one on there. And do I have a new one? Of course I do. Do you guys want me to show you how to extract an EC chip firmware, or do you want me just to flash one on there? Because I already have some extracted, but I can just show you how to do it. Okay, let me show you how we'll do it real quick. So we go to Dell's website. Let me get on this screen. Dell's website. So we're going to go to X15R2. Because that's what model we're working on. We're going to download drivers, BIOS. And then on here, so instead of downloading this exe, we need to download the recovery BIOS, which is the RCV. So we're going to download that. And once I have it downloaded, I always like to name it the name that the Dell's naming it here, so we have the version and everything. So I copy that because it always names it this BIOS name right here because it's a recovery BIOS. So I'm just going to name it that. I'm going to cut that and I'm going to move that into my BIOS backups, and I'm going to paste that in there. So now we have it in our folder here. I'm going to select the name just so I have the name in my clipboard. And then I have a PowerShell script that I run. It's actually a Python script. And so you can download this on GitHub. And so this Dell PSF extract, that will be for like XPSs and precisions, latitude, things like that. There's going to be the AMI UCP extract. There's also an AMI PFAT extract. And then there's the, where's the last one? There's one more. And then there's this one here, which I think is the one we're going to have to use for the Alienware. That's what we're going to try. A lot of times the Alienware uses that. So I'll just paste that name in there. We'll run that. It errored out, so that's not the right one. So I just have to kind of go through them all. I think it's this one, PFAT. Yep, so the PFAT extracted fine. So now if we come back in here, we have a new folder added right here. We go inside of there, and there's all of our regions, right? So we have the main BIOS region, or that's the whole thing. The main BIOS region is down here. Where's it at? Main wrapper. So that's the main BIOS region. We have the EC chip right here, the EC version, and it's 192, so it's actually a little big, and so it'd be 160. But we should be able to flash that right on there. A lot of times, you either have to edit it, so you just compare the one you extracted to the one that you're about to put on there, and then find the right region. So you put it in an editor if it's too big. 192, I think it's just the end is a padded region, so it should be okay. So that's what we're going to flash on there. Cool. All right, so now we will go back to our app. We got to write. We lose connection again? How do I keep losing connection? Do I keep bumping these things? I think I do. Okay, so now we're going to write. And so we're going to go to that file we just downloaded, extracted. It's this one. And see how there's nothing in here because it's looking for a bin file. We need to change it to all, and then we can select that file right there. It's going to write it on there. It's going to write the 160K that it is, even though it's 192. And whatever the last part is not going to be written on there. And so we're hoping we don't have to edit it first. So we'll write it first, it will verify it after, and then we should be good. Did I back up the original one? I always back up the original one. Yes, I do have a backup. Yeah, the EC chips never want to be programmed, I can tell you that. Okay, so that's written on there. The board should be fixed because I'm pretty sure that's all it is. So we'll take all this down. Actually, we should make sure it works because if I have to put all this back on here because we flashed it wrong, that would be no good. Okay, so I'm going to test to see if it turns on. So let's go back to I'll put my power meter up here. And then we are going to go over to the power button, lay power button. And I'm just going to short it out. So it's going to be the second pin is our power, and then we just short it to the first pin, which is our ground. Can we not see that? There we go. Second pin's the power, first pin's ground. So I'll just short those together, and then just look at the power meter. If we start pulling current, then we're good. 3, 2, 1. And there we go. 1 amp coming out, 2 amps. Good. Subscribe, everyone. It's working. Oh, gosh. Okay, so that's good. Let me switch camera views here because we can take all this down. I saved another laptop! Yeah, so this laptop is fixed because that was all it was. And I don't know why it keeps happening like that. Like I said, I've done 2 other, I programmed 2 of these this week. Not this exact model, but the same kind of series. So, should I put it together? Do you want me to put it together and see the Dell screen? Or should we move to another laptop? Let's see, what time is it? Hour and 23 minutes. So I have like 35 minutes left. Should we do a poll? I could basically just assemble this, test it, and we can just chat. How's that? Because I don't have time to really start another one. Unless you really want. David, thanks for the donation. So nice. So nice. Oh, limited time. Yeah. Well, I mean, we can start another one. I don't really care. It's just, I'm only doing a 2-hour stream on Sundays because I got family stuff and all that, and I can't, you know, I already work almost 60 hours a week at this point, so adding a few more hours, you know, wears me out thinking about it. Got to go mow the lawn and do other stuff like that. Uh-oh, my mic just fell. Okay. Let me clean this off real quick. X15, oh, it's a thin one. Yes, X15 is super thin. The X14 is even thinner, but it only runs on USB-C. So I don't recommend the X14. Not a fan. Let's put it together and call it a Sunday. Yeah, so I'm going to reassemble this. Yeah, we want to see the Alienware screen for closure. But you know what we get to do first is we get to clean this liquid metal off of the heatsink now. And I want to show you, if this thing has measles on it, I'm going to be so mad because it takes so much more time. So the heatsink here, will a lot of times have, so the liquid metal will actually eat into the copper, and then we'll end up with like all these like pimples or measles. And it's very hard to clean off. You have to grind it. I have a grinding pin that I have to use to grind it with. And so, let's just see what we can get off of here. It looks smooth so far. Yeah, there was one the other day that the person sent it in to have it de-liquid metalled, and it was completely measled. Right, the metal was like bulging up, and I couldn't even, like, if you put the heatsink back down, it wouldn't even sit flat. Yeah, mowing the lawn is very important. It is. And I do enjoy it, just because, you know, sometimes when you do medial tasks, it's good for your brain. And I listen to my audiobook. Kind of relax. It's like meditation. Yesterday I went mountain biking. Same thing. I haven't mountain biked in a year though, so that was a long time coming. But it was funny because I pulled out my bike and I'm like, okay, let's get this thing ready. And it's like, okay, the tires are flat, so I had to pull out the tires apart. They're tubeless tires, so I had to redo all the sludge inside of it, clean that out, and then I realized that my back wheel wasn't true, so I had to put it on a truing stand and straighten all the spokes, do all the spokes and stuff. And yeah, it was one thing after another. So I ended up with a short ride, but it was fine. It was good. Distaste for liquid metal. I'm so tired of liquid metal. I mean, I think that Dell's going to stop putting it on them. I think they are. I think it's happening already. Like, see how easy that was just to clean this? This is just regular heatsink compound on this side. It was easy. Boom, done. 2 seconds. This one still looks a little weird with the liquid metal on here, but it actually is very smooth. I don't see a single measle or pimple on here. Because a lot of times you'll see like these, yeah, you can almost see there's a little bit of divots on here, or they kind of poke up a little bit, like this one right here. There's another one there, a little pop mark. But I've seen them where they're really big. Almost looks like acne. Here's another one. So it's basically what's happening is the liquid metal's reacting with the copper, not the copper, with whatever elements are in the copper. So it reacts with aluminum. So if this is not 100% pure copper, which there's no way in hell it is, then that's when they have the issue. So, okay, PTM 7950, go. I saw a guy solve the wet solder paste problem by that way. Huh. Press the paper down with the paper towel. Excess flow. Yeah, maybe. We saved another heatsink. Oh, so funny. Do you think I should put some PTM 7950 on your GPU too? I mean, in general, I don't, but we could do a little upgrade for him, or theys. So the way we put this on is I just kind of scratch it and kind of do an indent for the shape, and then cut it. Yeah, I'll do both while we're in here. This is the first laptop this is the first laptop I know that uses liquid metal. Really? Okay, dances with dirt. Oh my gosh. Every single freaking one of these Alienwares have this. It's a nightmare. We hate it. So watch some of my videos. You'll see all the liquid metal nightmares. All right, so this is PTM 7950, so it's a phase-changing thermal paste. What's really good about it is it only liquefies when it gets hot. So, and the thermal transfer is excellent on here. So, in general, I support this company. This is made by Honeywell. I think there's a newer version of this I heard. Or at least somebody jumped in the chat saying that I'm an idiot for using this because there's a newer kind. Idiot. How dare you even do that? You're so dumb. And if I'm an idiot, I'm an idiot. So, to know how big to do it, you just have to do it like in a little imprint. It's almost like liquid metal. Yeah, that's the buzzword on it. Yeah, I think it's supposed to get like 30 or 95% efficiency, or 95% of what a liquid metal would without all the dangers. Stupid that liquid metal is so highly conductive. And then it's also corrosive. Come on, dude. Come on. It's like peeling a sticker here. Okay. There we go. A little bit big. It's okay though. How long does it take to settle? I don't know. Like I've seen it where I've turned it on, you know, booted the Windows or tried turning it on and then shutting it back off and taking it apart, and it still has it kind of still in place. Like hadn't like totally liquefied. I assume when it gets hot enough, it does it. So on GPUs, I usually do this little scratching method on the edges, and that will cut it. And then when I peel it off, it leaves the stuff in the middle. It takes all the excess with it, like that. Boom. See that? And then it just kind of cut the edges off. But the I said the GPU I do that, but the CPU I don't, because it doesn't have sharp enough edges to do that. All right, so those are good. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome aboard. So this is our Sunday stream, and we usually do a Wednesday stream, and so we may be doing the Sunday stream. So can we put a, let's see, I'm trying to think of a vote, like how many people like this time, if this is a good time slot, or if I should go down to earlier because of church stuff. How can we award that as a poll? What do we think? Oh man, I need a spacer. when putting heat sinks on, it's always good to put like something, a little spacer to kind of lift the board up. Like that. And then we can put this down on there. This is a good time slot. 10 p.m. Eastern, which is 9, 9 Central for me, yeah. And then that would put it as 8 for California, and then like the afternoon for Europe. So I think it's pretty good. Earlier Sunday is fine. Yeah, it just makes me have to get here earlier, that's all. I mean, I'm up anyway, but I usually like to get up, have my coffee, and, you know, do stuff. So I was just kind of working this morning, and then I realized, oh, I better drive up to work, drive up to the office, and get this started. Sunday now is a replacement for Wednesday. No, we're going to do both. No, I'm trying to do 2 time slots so I can cater to more people. And then still do my videos. Which I'm already having a hard time keeping up with editing those darn things. I probably have 30 or 40 videos in my backlog. So like the video I posted yesterday, that's like a 3-month-old video. So it's hard, like, you know, to keep up with all this stuff. In general, like if I film a video, it sits around for a while before I post it. Maybe don't stay late on Wednesdays now, yeah? But it's fun. Let Us Repair just subscribed. Thank you so much, Let Us Repair. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson. I appreciate every one of you guys. All right, so we are installed there. Let's get the laptop together. Hire some editor. Yeah, I know. I have my editor who does my tutorials, who's been doing that. He's like, because we do installation tutorials, and I've done that since 2011. And so I've had the same guy on staff here doing those, but he works full-time doing those. And then so now I have him doing a video a week. He'll edit one, or if he's lucky enough to have time to do that, edit those down. It just takes a long time to edit these videos, because like even the one that I did yesterday, that was 3.5 hours of footage. 3.5 hours of footage that I had to cut down to an hour, right? Which is long anyway. But you're talking about like having to watch 3.5 hours, right? So you're guaranteed 3 hours or 3.5 hours of footage that you're watching. Not to mention, then you have to like edit at the same time, so that takes more time. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff. And I also, you know, I want it to be authentic. I want it to, you know, because I actually go back through after he even edits it, and then I have to go back and edit it again. So I usually drop it into Premiere and then go through and edit it all over again. Can't get this LCD connector in. Why? Why are you doing this to me, LCD connector? All right, I have to get under the microscope. Get my super eyeballs going here. This corner is raised up just a little bit. And you pop that back down. Get under there. This side does not want to go in. Come on, switch cameras. Yeah, my mods have control of my cameras now, so if I mess up, it's their responsibility. It's like this one side wants to go in, but this other side doesn't. Don't know what's going on. It's like thick right there. I think it just came undone or something. Oh, I see. This is supposed to be on the outside for some reason. I don't know why it's on the inside. Get in there, come on. It's supposed to be on the outside. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know if you can tell from this footage here, this view. But basically, this side has the clasp coming around and clipping on the outside, and this is on the inside. I don't know why it's on the inside, but I just need to get it on the outside. There we go. Well, now it's on the outside, but now it's not bent right. Come on. There we go. Okay. I have a question. Do I have to buy a new Alienware 17R4 motherboard if its CPU fails? Yes, especially on that machine. But those machines are like, you're talking about the old 17R4, right? Not the M. 17R4 and those are notorious for CPU failure because but that's over time. It's not, they're not notorious for failing within a year or two. They're notorious for failing after that 7-year mark because the MOSFETs fail on it. So yes, if you're getting a 2-1 error, the CPU failed and you'll need to replace it. Replace the whole motherboard. You've got an Acer Predator. Congratulations. Does have extreme level cooling. Has 2 fans and the laptop has 4 fans. I don't know anything about Acer Predators. I've never even opened up an Acer. I don't know anything about any other manufacturer. Have you ever got a job offer from Dell? No. No. I've been doing this so long, guys. I started this business when I was 21 years old. That was like 23 years ago. Started it out of my bedroom, my house. I had $5,000 saved up. And I bought some stuff and started selling it. And then reselling it, reselling it. So. But my main business is not fixing computers. I don't know if you guys know that. It's not. It's like 5% of my business. So we mainly sell the parts, and then we have a service department. And so do this service is for fun. There's not a lot of money involved in this. If I had to run or pay all my staff with the money that the repair department makes, then I think we would be out of business. Because repair, you can't charge too much because then the person won't fix the computer. And then you can't charge too little, or else you can't pay your people. They can't live. And then everything's a grind, right? So every single day there's a new repair and there's a new problem. And then the people that send me the repairs are the ones that are the biggest problems ever, right? It's like, I've told this story before, but I hired a tech last year who had worked at laptop repair shops over the years. And he said he worked at for 15 years, he's a laptop repair tech and blah, 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 right? And then he's like, why are all these repairs so hard? He quit because he didn't want to have to fix a hard repair every day. He's used to just just swapping parts and being done with it, right? And not having to actually diagnose something really difficult and spend time on something and actually try to fix something or do a favor for somebody, you know? So I don't like taking the easy way out, I can tell you that. And I enjoy making sure that everyone has a fixed laptop at the cheapest amount, the cheapest price too. So it's not like trying to make a big quick buck or anything. Okay, do we get it? Got it? Get it, got it good? All right, so that's kind of tacked in there. We're going to put, well, we got 2 NVMEs here, so I don't know which one's which. One of them has a operating system on it, I'm sure. All right, I just put a couple screws in there. So you're a rocket scientist. That's right, I do. Actually, my hobby for a long time was actually amateur astronomy. And so I built, I have a remote observatory with multiple telescopes and roll-off roof and all this stuff. And I built a bunch of automation tools that run it remotely. And I'm an hour away from my observatory, so I can run it from Austin. And did a lot of astrophotography and all that stuff. So kind of, I guess. I don't have time for that anymore. But all right, so everything's in. Nothing's going to fall out when I flip it over. Battery's plugged in. We got SSDs plugged in. And Brian just gave us $2. Thank you so much. All right, so, oh, we got a vote going. What's the vote? I don't even know what it was. Is this a good time for everyone? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Perfect. So we are happy with the time. So next week we'll do the same time again because I'm happy with that you're happy. And then we'll still do our Wednesday stream. And if you're not followed yet, give me a follow if this thing turns on. And 5 amps, 4 amps, 5 amps. And we got an Alienware screen. Boom. So there you go. And it's booting the Windows. I saved another laptop. Ha! Yeah. I knew what it was. I knew it. I knew it. Because of the way that it was acting, it had to have been a EC chip. So this is great. So there we go. Colors are complete. I know, right? It is nice whenever we see it actually work right at the end. Hey, I wonder just get donated some bits. Thank you so much. Oh man. Everybody on Twitch, we got 39 people on Twitch. Is this a good time for you guys too? Everyone voted 100% on there too. So man, this is, so we're going to be doing two streams a week now. I'll update the schedule on Twitch. We're going to be doing 9 a.m. Central Sunday mornings. We're going to be doing 6 p.m. Central on Wednesdays. And probably 2-hour streams on Sundays and 3-hour streams on Wednesdays. Does that sound like a pretty good deal for everyone? And I'll fix the syncing issue with our voice and the cameras being out of sync a little bit. Yeah, look how out of sync it is. It's crazy. Look at that. So I'll have to fix that. But I hope everyone enjoyed this. We have 15 minutes. So I'm not going to leave right now. I was going to wrap it up, but we actually have 15 minutes to chat. And y'all can ask me questions. And we can do whatever you want. Synchronized looks pretty close on Twitch. Yeah, but it's the between these two cameras is what I was looking at. Wait, my hands, there we go. So like, see if I clap, you can see that they're out of sync. Yeah, so my voice might be kind of close now because I sync that one camera to my voice, but the other camera's out of sync. And so what I end up having to do is put delays on cameras and then delays on vocals and stuff like that. Oh, Terry, you built your own observatory too. So we do have a fellow amateur astronomer here. Yeah, it's a fun hobby because what's great about astronomy or doing at least astrophotography and things like that, it's very, very hard to be good at it. I mean, now it's getting a lot easier, but back in the day, the equipment, you know, there's so many moving parts. Put it back together. So I should just keep putting the screws together? Okay. I can at least do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. You ruined another laptop. So I could just keep putting screws in here, but I'm going to unplug the battery while I do this. Is that a good thing to do, people? I'm just testing everyone. I just keep running into so many people who just don't think they need to take the screws out or unplug the battery while they're working on it. I don't understand. The thing is that I have the battery unplugged. This screw could just fall off my screwdriver and just land right here, and then there you go. Okay, so you're thinking the time difference is 250 to 275 delay. Is that between the two cameras, or you're talking about from my audio? Oh, you missed a lot of stuff here. We're about to wrap up the stream, too. We got 15 minutes left, but what you missed was I had this Alienware X15R2 that was completely dead, and the customer was trying to charge it with his cell phone charger. And then we determined it to be an EC chip issue, so we just reprogrammed the EC chip, and now the laptop boots to Windows. So we were able to solve that issue. So you missed a lot. Have you ever considered doing another job? I am doing another job right now. I'm being a streamer now, apparently. But I mean, I've been doing this forever, you know. I mean, more than half my life I've been working dealing with Dell and Dell laptops, and I design all the software and all the coding and all this stuff for the website. So I'm doing that. I do in the warehouse all of our displays and all of our workbenches and all that stuff I built myself. I design all and do woodworking. I have a whole wood shop that I build stuff in. I do at home. I am a sorry, I'm like trying to get these stupid Nintendos on. Yeah, I do a lot of woodworking, and then I can do contract work. I've remodeled my kitchen. I've also built a house myself. That was on my bucket list. So I designed and built my own house from scratch. I just did all the CAD work to design the house, and then hauled in all the material and built it on 10 acres of land that I have. So that was another kind of thing I did, another job, you can say. Ran all the electrical, ran all the plumbing, ran all the everything. Did all the clearing. I mean, what I like to do is just do everything, right? So I always say the easiest way to get something done is to just do it. So whenever people sit there and say, I'm going to do something, it drives me absolutely crazy. Because if you're going to do it, then do it. Like literally. Like the only reason why you can't do it is because you haven't tried to do it. That's it. Yes, they've always called me MacGyver, actually. That's pretty funny. So as for being somebody who is a jack of all trades, a master of none, all my friends tell me that if they were going to be stuck on a deserted island, they want to be stuck on a deserted island with me, because I will be building that coconut phone. I will have the most legit setup. So we will make sure that everyone's cozy and fed, and we will have water systems, aqueducts running on our deserted island. Yeah. That is the fun part about it. Just doing it, man. Just getting it done. Yeah, I definitely can't stand when people are just talking about it. So the streaming thing, I put it off for a while because I was just like, well, I'm not a public speaker. It's hard for me to talk and speak in front of somebody. I have to perform on demand. And, but you have to kind of, in my head, I said, okay, well, what's going to happen? Okay, well, I'm going to fail to fix a laptop. Okay, that's fine. That happens. That's real. So let's fail. Okay, so what else can I do? Am I going to make mistakes? Yes, that's fine. As long as I'm okay with that. And so the easiest, you just got to just pull the Band-Aid off, and I started doing it, and it actually worked out. And I could just be my natural self, which is also kind of cool too. So I'm definitely enjoying doing these streams. I can tell you that. And it seems like everyone else is enjoying it. So that's awesome. Okay, we got all the screws in. No extra screws. These are all for the base. I will plug the battery in. Actually, we'll wait because I got to put the back on. It's amazing what you can do with a paperclip. Yeah, so I was actually picking, when I was a teenager, I was interested in locks for a little while, and so I started learning how to pick locks with paper clips. Are you any good with C++ or Python? So I've done a bunch of C# stuff, and so that's kind of C++ a little bit. Python, I've done some Python stuff. I'm generally, like, my main, like, brain is like PHP is what I really, really know really well. And then I've done a lot of Arduino programming, so which is kind of a C#-y type of programming. And so I've programmed so many microcontrollers because I have to do automation and stuff for my observatory. And so that's kind of the two languages I can kind of write in my head. And then for everything else, like Python, I'll have to like, you know, look up equivalents is kind of how I end up doing it. I was like, what's this, you know, function in PHP that's in Python, like how to convert it or whatever. Mr. Wells, thank you. I'm glad you love the stream. I'm enjoying doing it. Let's see. Sorry to keep asking this. Did you figure out the stuttering or jittering issues? Yes. Does it seem better? I went and watched that the Jay's 2 cents video that someone recommended, and it might have been you, recommended that there was some juddering or stuttering in the video. Okay, all right. This is so stupid. So I went there and watched this video. He was pointing out that there was like some sort of device issue, so it could be like a USB device or a Wi-Fi device that was causing the issue. I took the Wi-Fi card out of this machine altogether. I unplugged every single device on here, so I only had the camera plugged in. I bypassed OBS and used the actual Elgato software, so I was just capturing it, and it still stuttered. Didn't matter what I did. Then, so that's at 4K 30. So then I put it on 1080p 30, still stuttered. Put it on 1080p 60, no stutter. I'm like, what? That's more bandwidth it's using, but it's not stuttering. So is it a sync issue? So then I take it and I take another laptop, a totally different computer, hook it into a laptop that has a 3070 Ti in it. Still stuttering on that one, with that being the only thing in there. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So I have 3 Elgato cards for this. One for the microscope, one for my overhead, and one for the new Elgato I just bought for this front-facing camera. So I used a separate Elgato card. I just switched them out, and it worked fine. So apparently the Elgato card that I just bought the other day is bad, or it has some stuttering going on. So I actually just put that on the microscope instead, and you can't notice because it's not that often that it stutters, but so the microscope now has the stuttering Elgato card. It's not doing it, but you'll see it occasionally happen. And then my other 2 cameras are on the other cards that work stable. They're stable, blah, blah, blah. All right, so that was my fix, whether it was a fix or not. I could have returned the card, but then I started getting mixed up which one was what and all this stuff, and I was just like, okay, because I didn't mark them all, so. Someone else asked a question here. I'm trying to find it. Let's see, let me go over here. Do you ever get repairs back? I've had a couple different ones that have come back, but not generally for what I've fixed. It's usually something weird like I fixed the laptop because it wasn't turning on, and then a USB port wasn't working or something like that. It's like a byproduct of whatever had happened originally had caused something else to go on, but I didn't catch that when I was doing my final diagnostic. But I don't think I've ever had one come back that I fixed. Besides like a BIOS. I've had BIOS issues come back over and over again. So I flashed the BIOS, like I had one that it came in for a corrupted BIOS, flashed a new BIOS on it, shipped it off to him. He gets it, and he had BitLocker on his laptop, so he was like, I'm gonna do my BitLocker key myself. The moment he put his BitLocker key in there, it starts flashing the BIOS again because it was still queued to do a Microsoft BIOS update, and then it flashed the BIOS again with the corrupted BIOS and then did it again. Sent it back to me again. I fixed it again, sent it back to him. He didn't want to give me his BitLocker key, so he did it again, did it all over again. I walked him through trying to like fix it there and couldn't do it, so then we had to send it back, and I said, send me your BitLocker key, because every time I have to get it sent back, I pay for all the return shipping. So we're talking like almost $50 every single time. So that's what I'm saying, like, there's really no money in this, like, because I do a year warranty, which no place does a year warranty on anything, right? I do a year warranty on every part I sell. I do a year warranty on my repairs, parts and labor, everything, right? So my repair is only $129 for a regular repair. It's $250 for my board repair, but I pay for the return shipping in that. So $129 goes down to $100 in labor. If I have one warranty, that's $50 more in shipping. I only make $50, right? So it's definitely. Terry's asking about my telescopes and cameras. So I have some older equipment at this point. Because I haven't been doing the hobby as much lately. So I have an RC6, I have a William Optics 110, I have a William Optics 81, I have a couple SCTs. I got like 15 telescopes. I got a 10-inch Dob. I have another 6-inch. Yeah, they're mostly what I use in my observatory is going to be a 6-inch RC and my 110 William optics. I got both Atlas mounts, and then the cameras are. I still use some of these older Starlight Express cameras. I do have a ZWO, but not one of the 2600s. I think it's like might just be a 1600 or something like that. But anyway, let me go back to some of these other questions. Oh, I have this completely back together. We'll boot this up while we have it together. What microphone do I use? I'm using this microphone. Is the Rode ME. This is the receiver. No, this is the transmitter. The receiver's underneath my desk. They both have microphones on them, and then I just use a Rode lapel that hooks into it. Some EC chips are programmed by the battery connector. Not the battery connector. You're talking about the keyboard connector. Yes, so some of them are programmed by the keyboard connector, and the way they figure that out is if well, you would have to look at the pinout of inside the schematics, and then you'll sometimes see where it has the DI, DO, the CLK, and the CS connections connected to that. There's only a few of them that I've seen that I've done. I think it's like the Alienware. You know what? Maybe the 15R5s and R6s and R7s actually do have a programmable EC chip, and it goes through the keyboard header. They do, actually. I forgot. 6-inch RC and a 7-inch tech. You have a 7-inch tech? That's a nice scope, guys. You guys know you know. Okay. Well, congratulations, man. That's awesome. Whew, man, I wish. That would have been nice. Wow, I'm jealous. Holy cow. Okay. You would love to do astronomy. Mosquitoes, yeah. Mosquitoes are tough. 16-inch RC. Oh, you have a 16-inch RC. Oh, it was an exclamation point 6. Well, you're up there. Yeah. I'm so cheap with all my stuff, so I've always, everything I bought is used secondhand, right? So, and then I kind of like to piece things together and make things work myself. Have a question that I've heard that CPUs with integrated chipsets tend to fail more than separate dedicated. Ooh, interesting. That's interesting. You know what? I think I have seen that more. Come to think of it. That's interesting. Huh. Did this froze? No, this is booting up. Looked like it froze, and it did. Look at that. It turned right off. Although we could have that keyboard issue on this machine, but then the touchpad would work. So let me plug in a USB keyboard. So we might have to fix the keyboard issue on this anyway, because it has that tendency where the keyboard doesn't work in Windows. But we'll plug in an external. It's booting back up. Let me grab a keyboard. Oh, and I still have it in engineering mode. Let me take it out of engineering mode. So whenever we flash that EC chip, let me plug in a USB keyboard. When we flash the EC chip, it actually puts it in engineering or developer mode, and then I have to take it out of that. Okay, keyboard's hooked up. Oh yeah, so we do have that notorious issue. So if we look here, no, the trackpad's not working. Did I not plug in the mouse? Mouse and keyboard are not working. Here's your sign. Probably didn't plug it in all the way. We're just past 11, so we should be shutting it down here. Let's see. Is there any other questions that I'm missing, JFix and Premise? Because I'm not good at reading the chats, but if there's something that needs to be highlighted or answered before I go. Do we need to put a resistor? What are we talking about? I'm missing some of the context on this here. Here's your sign. You guys see what I did? Do you see what I see? Do 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 do. Look at that. Boom. There we go. When's the next video come? I don't have any edited right now on my back. Like I didn't even plug in the Alienware lights either, so I'm glad I opened it back up. I do our final test anyway, would have caught all this, but the next video, I don't have one edited yet, so I'll have to kind of figure out what I'm going to be editing, and then I'll know. But generally, I like to do, I'm doing the videos at the later of the week, end of the week. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday is one of the videos that usually go out. And then sometimes I'll get one out before the stream on Wednesday. So it might be like Tuesday or something. Mondays are really busy for me, so I don't really have time. Any tips for Dell laptops with USB-C ports and chargers? Yeah, don't buy an aftermarket charger. Buy a real Dell one, or buy a high-quality USB-C charger. That's a good tip. So I don't want to see you using a charger that looks like it's a real Dell charger, but it's not, because those things don't weigh anything. There's no technology in there that's protecting the laptop at all. The actual tips are junk. So if you're going to buy some sort of aftermarket charger, buy like an Anker or something. But I sell OEM ones. Just buy an OEM one. You know, you can buy anything you buy from me is going to be a genuine part. So that's the best tip I have for you. You can also buy one of these things. Where do I have it? Let me see if I have one here. I don't know. Well, there's a it's like a mag tip or whatever, where you can hook it on there and it doesn't, yeah, and don't use a cell phone charger. But there's like a mag tip that you can put on there where it like, MagSafe, just like Apple has. So it plugs into the USB-C port, and then you plug your charger into it, and then it can come off magnetically. The main thing is you're going to have where is this the ports break, and then it costs a lot of money to fix it because you have to solder a new one on. I wonder if he had any Wi-Fi issues. This guy? You just pushed it down, no arm, secured in lace. Dragon Ball Z? What are you talking about? All right, mouse is working again, and that's working. So, there we go. We're logged in. We are logged in. So that's working. Your laptop has a 240 watt charger and it's a big brick. Yep. This is I'm plugging this in with a 240 watt. Although, what did it come with? Dell's making some smaller 240 watts these days. This might be a 180, I bet. Can't see what it's telling me. This is a 240, yeah. So this is a 240, but it's a smaller form factor than normal. Yeah, 240 watt. So normally the 240 should be a lot bigger than this, but they're making like 330s that are like as small as 240s used to be. I don't know what they're doing, but they weigh a lot. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I need to just have like a whole thing about showing people these fake chargers versus real ones. Like, this thing probably weighs a pound or something. And a fake charger will weigh like almost nothing. The Dell service tag to Breakfast of Champions. What are you saying here? The Dell service tag is ... Next live stream, you want to repair someone in chat, please. Okay. Well, I need to have someone in chat. So I have there's like 8 more or 9 more right here in the queue that need to be worked on. And that's not to mention any of them that are coming in. Do I record every service? No, I don't, because I get backlogged. And here, let me take a sip of water. I don't generally record all of them. I record a lot, but a lot of them are repeat in a way. Like this one right here, if I would have, sorry, if I would determine it's an EC chip, I probably wouldn't film it, or I would have stopped filming it. I would have started and then stopped it, because I would be like, okay, we've already done plenty of these ECs. It's, you know, it takes so much longer to film something. So in general, I don't film them all because I get behind. So yeah, old stereo equipment is awesome. Built very well. Got to burst out the scale. Yeah, I think I will have a scale here next time. Some cheap chargers have weights inside. Oh, maybe we'll be cutting one open then. Get the grinder out. Just asking a bit of advice. I recently changed my trackpad and it worked fine for a week, and then it started getting jittery. If I hold my finger and cursor, it starts jumping around. Any tips? Is it a real trackpad? Did you buy an OEM? Or did you just buy a trackpad? And if it's jumping around, jittery, it means it's sensing something else somewhere else probably. So it's like on the edge. If you have something touching it, it's maybe thinking that you have a finger here. It's almost like if you're holding your phone and you kind of have your thumb touching the edge and then you're trying to do something else, it keeps trying to do something at the same time. So you may have a bad trackpad, or it's fake or something, or you have it like touching one of the edges weird. Oh, you post on Cloudy Nights as Terry White. I post on Cloudy Nights as the Astronate, like astronaut, but Astronate. That's my handle on there. I think I recognize your name, Terry White, actually. That's funny. Why do you focus only on Dell, repairing Dell laptops? So I started this company 23 years ago, and only selling Dell laptop parts. That's what I do. And then because we have all the parts, we can service Dell laptops. And so I have about 700,000 parts in my warehouse, only working on Dell and Alienware. That's it, laptops, period. And so that's why we service them, because I don't need to order parts. The laptop comes in, oh, I need this part, I walk out to the warehouse and I grab it. That's why. It's also better to be a master of one brand and not be a mediocre at a bunch of brands. So you've been to plenty of those shops that are just like, they think, they don't know what they're doing really, right? They just are trying to keep their head above water and work on everything. That's not really worth it in general. Yeah, I'd love to see the wheel weight, the weight of a charger. Yeah, I will be I will. Man, I can't even speak all of a sudden. I'll bring a scale out. Yeah, we're going to cut open some chargers, I think, because we do have some like kind of the knockoff charger pile that people send in, and we always sell them a new one. Fantastic to see that this Discord server. Well, it's not my Discord server. I opted to not deal with that. I can't keep up with the Discord server, so you have to thank JFix for that. JFix has really stepped up and created the server, and he's very active on it and making sure everything's going and answering questions. So yeah, everyone join and participate. It's awesome. Yeah, cheap chargers end up breaking more machines, I can tell you that. Open heavy aftermarket chargers. Yeah, I want to open a heavy one. We'll try doing that. What laptop today is the most reliable? Latitudes in general, if you're talking about Dells, because that's all I know. Latitudes are going to be the most reliable, and Alienwares are too if you just take care of them. The thing is that I think I've had the same laptop, like I still have a 2017 laptop, works fine, no problem. I have a 2020 or 2020, no problem. Never broken a jack on it, never broke a USB port on it, never had to change out. I've had to change a battery out on my 2017 one, that's it. Never had an issue. So reliability has to do with the person who's using it, I think, more. So if you keep it clean and you make sure to don't keep it plugged in all the time and don't drop it, But Latitudes in general are built for business, so they come with like 3-year warranties. And Inspiron, if you went and bought it from Best Buy, they're the cheapest junk consumer grade stuff, and they only come with 90-day warranties. What kind of laptop do you buy that has a 90-day warranty? One that's plain to break, right? Cheap chargers cause jittery touchpads. I don't. That's a pretty funny one. Oh, Full Moon. That's the Full Moon's the one that found that issue on the last live stream. So shout out to Full Moon. Give him props. He is our savior. Oh my gosh. You still have your 2017 laptop? Yeah. See, I mean, that's saying they should last just. I mean, I don't. There's no reason why a laptop should die. So I don't know. Okay, well, it's after I stayed longer than I promised, so 2 hours and 15 minutes in. So I'm gonna have to call it. But remember, we have weekly Sundays at 9 a.m. Central for 2 hours, and then we'll do weekly Wednesdays 6 p.m. Central for 3 hours. So Twitch, follow. I'll see you next time. YouTube, follow, subscribe, and I appreciate each and every single one of you, and thanks for watching.